Now let us clarify some terminologies related to the attributes or variables, which are basically the content of a table. Or alternatively, you can say that this slide is showing you different types of variable that are possible in machine learning. So let us start with the first one. The first type of data is a categorical variable. A categorical variable is a variable that can take one of a limited number of values. For example, a blood group. It has some specific number of values, right? It can be either A or B or O or AB. It cannot be anything other than that. So whenever there are some fixed number of values in a data set, in the variable, we call it a categorical variable. Now, since a machine learning system only understands the number, a categorical variable must be represented using some numbers when it is fed inside a machine learning system. For example, a blood group of A can be represented with the value 0, or the value of a blood group B can be represented with number 1. O can be represented with 2 and AB can be represented with 3. Well, it can be any number of your choice. It doesn't need to be 0, 1, 2, 3. However, in machine learning, it is a common practice that we start with 0 and we just increase the number based on as many categories are there. The next type of attribute or variable is called a discrete variable. A discrete variable is a variable whose value can be obtained by counting it in finite amount of time. For example, the amount of money stored in a bank account is an example of discrete variable. A continuous variable, on the other hand, is a variable whose value cannot be obtained by counting. It can be obtained by any other form of measurement, but definitely not counting. An ideal example of continuous variable is time, or anything that changes with very small unit of time. They are an example of continuous variable. So here is a example. An exact age of a person is basically a continuous variable. For example, a person's age can be represented at a very small granular level, right? It can be stated like the person's age is 25 years, 5 months, 2 days, 5 hours, 4 seconds, 4 milliseconds, 8 nanoseconds, like this way. So what does that mean? That means in every nanoseconds period, the person's exact age is basically changing. So this is a continuous variable. However, it is possible to turn this exact age into a discrete variable so that you can count it. Well, it is a very common practice to express the age only in terms of years. For example, the person's age is just 25 years and you are ignoring the other parts. So now you can easily count it. It is not changing with every small granular level or granular unit of time like nanoseconds. It is taking a long time, and this is a year. It is changing over years and you can easily count it. So now age is a discrete variable. So well, when age is expressed in years only, it is a discrete variable, whereas the exact age, which is changing in every second, it is called a continuous variable. Now, the other thing is when a variable depends on time, it is called a time series data. Normally, if data points are collected in an interval less than or equal to a second, then we call it continuous time series data. Otherwise, we call it a discrete time series data. So for example, if you take the exact age of a person as an input and you just change it over every nanosecond, then it will become a continuous time series data. Whereas if you just take the person's age in years, it will be a discrete time series data. Both are time series because they are all depending on time, but the exact age is continuous time series, and the age expressed in year is discrete time series data.